Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. Taking a look at our 500 millibar chart, we can clearly see this pretty large trough, and right over us, we have some spreading out of the height lines, or the isohypses. We are also right at the nose of this jet. And so if you were wondering, that's why it's snowing. Well, part of the reason why it's snowing. It's not entirely responsible, but it's certainly helping. And it's going to continue snowing for the next few hours. And after the main snow core is through, we will continue to see some lake effect reaching as far inwards as our area. And we will look into that some more. However, let's keep going into the future to see what exactly may unfold as we go forwards. Looking at the 500 millibar chart, there's nothing obvious through the day tomorrow and into tomorrow evening. Although as we start to head towards Sunday morning, we can see there is another shortwave trough embedded right here that could make its way down towards our area. So maybe that is something to watch. As for tonight, it's going to take some time for this current system to move out. So again, we should expect some of this snow to continue for the next couple of hours and then start to taper off. As we head lower down, we can see the low pressure system that is responsible for the current precipitation. And as we move forward, that low pressure system will slowly move and end up just to our north, and it will gradually weaken as it does. And by the time we get to tomorrow evening, it'll be off in Canada, and we're going to kind of be at the base of the trough here. Then it looks like we can definitely see that next low pressure system starting to make its way down by the time we reach Sunday morning. Now, a lot of the flow here in the lower level is from west to east across the lake, across Lake Michigan. So that is again another hint that we could potentially still be dealing with lake effect snow pretty much through the evening tonight, overnight, and the entire day tomorrow. Looking down at the surface now, again, that low pressure system still right there, doing its thing. And as that low pressure system moves by, a cold front will come through our area, and we'll really start to feel the impacts of that as we head into tomorrow morning. And then that low pressure system will start to move off. Again, we still have flow from west to east over the lakes. And again, that continues into Sunday, and you can still see that next low pressure system starting to build in. So, it looks like more precipitation on the way, and we're going to probably have some lake effect coming over the entire time before that. So, snow. That's really the main theme here, is snow. Most of that snow will fall today, at least for our area, but we are going to continue to see sporadic snow showers in the form of lake effect for the entire forecast period. So let's zoom in and take a look at the snow. Sure enough, it shows up on here and it moves through our area over the next couple hours, and then that lake effect really starts, and you can see that it's spreading pretty far inland on here. And again, this is not showing some of the more detailed things. These ensemble models can lose some of the finer details. So there's probably a lot more snow in here that's not showing up, especially lighter snow that is making its way a lot farther inland, and that is going to be the kind of stuff we will be dealing with, and we may even see one of these heavier lake effect bands stretch all the way towards our area. It may happen. But you can see that lake effect still showing up even as we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow evening right here, 7 p.m. tomorrow, still plenty of lake effects bands. Of course, this will impact the coastal areas a lot more than it impacts us, but we will still get some more snow from this. They might get, we might get an extra inch from this. They might get an extra, 6. But it's still affecting both of us. And so that will be important to keep in mind if you plan on traveling. If you're heading over to Grand Rapids, Muskegon, even as far north as, Traverse City, it's going to be snowing a lot. So do keep that in mind if you plan to travel, even as we head into Sunday. This is early Sunday morning. You still have plenty of lake effect coming off those lakes. So do keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at those expected snow totals. Now this is valid from 7 a.m. this morning to 7 a.m. Monday morning. So some of this snow that is forecast here has already fallen over the last few hours. So I'm not saying that from 1 p.m. tonight or today that you should expect 2 to 4 more inches here in Lansing, because 1 to 2 of those inches seems to have already fallen. But from this whole system, from the main snow blob that's going through now, to with the lake effect included, we are looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow in areas to our west like Grand Rapids, Muskegon, looking at 6 inches to potentially 10 inches, even 13 inches. If we look at our low end amount, at least 9 in 10 chance, 90% that we get this amount or more. We are still looking at an inch, getting pretty close to that 2 inch mark, and areas to our west, and pretty much at a minimum, are looking at 5 to 6 inches. The high end amount shows us a 1 in 10 or 10% chance that we get this amount of snow or more. That still puts us at 5 inches here in Lansing. Areas to our west, Grand Rapids, 12. That's a foot of snow. Muskegon, 16 inches. And then you can see that this even stretches farther north. Places like Traverse City on this higher snowfall amounts are probably still looking close to double digits. Again, the expected though, probably not quite that much, but it could certainly happen, especially, just off the coast. So again, if you're traveling, especially closer to Lake Michigan, just be safe and be careful. Now let's take a look at our highs and lows. Normally I would say something like, now let's, calm down, get a little boring, but it's not even the cold front. As that cold front comes in tomorrow morning, things are gonna get cold. Today, today we may today we may warm up into the upper 20s, getting close to 30. But again, that cold front that comes in early in the morning tomorrow is just going to make tomorrow get colder through the day. So our low is probably going to be realized tomorrow morning, and it's going to be still in the mid to upper 20s. But again, as that cold front comes through, even through the day, we are going to gradually cool off. And so our high is pretty much going to be the same as our low. Our high tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same as our low tonight, around the upper to mid 20s. And the low tomorrow, by 7 p.m., we're right on the edge of, the mid to lower teens here. And that will continue to grow even as we head into Sunday morning. It retreats just a little bit, but we still got plenty of cold air. This purple here is 15 degrees or colder. That second shade of purple, 10 degrees or colder. And then this gray color, that's 0 degrees. And this is the just real temperature. This is not accounting for wind or anything like that. So it is going to get cold. And spoiler alert, I can't go this far forward on the href here, but things are expected to get even colder on Monday. In fact, I've already seen some graphics from the National Weather Service Grand Rapids, and you know what? I might as well just pull that up right now. I know this might be a little bit hard to read because I can't full size this, but it's gonna get cold. Looking on, Monday into Tuesday, we are looking at potential minimum wind chills as low as -15 to -25 for our area. And we're right on the fringe of where it could be -25 or even colder. So, that's a pretty serious hazard. That's cold, even for us, So, even though this is a little bit farther than the typical forecast period we talk about, I feel like this is important enough to give advance heads up to. Keep this in mind. It is gonna get cold. And I feel like this gives us a perfect segue into talking about wind. So here we're looking at the hourly maximum wind averaged across all the models. Gives us a decent idea of what our sustained winds will look like. Through today, not really a whole lot of winds, maybe 10-ish miles per hour, and the winds even die down a little bit overnight and into tomorrow morning. But as we head through the day tomorrow, they will increase again, maybe around 15 miles per hour or so, before starting to decrease in the evening once again, and as we head into Sunday. What about wind gusts? Wind gusts today, right now, are looking to be around the 25 to 30 mile per hour range, and that will continue through most of the day today. And as we head into the evening and overnight hours, things will calm down a little bit as we see gusts around 20 miles per hour. But again, as we head into tomorrow morning, it looks like we may have a little peak where they might get up to 25 miles per hour or so. And then, as we head into tomorrow evening, the winds peak again. We are looking at gusts again 25 to 30 miles per hour. And it looks like that kind of hangs around for a good portion of the overnight and then chills out just a little bit as we head into Sunday with, gusts still around the 20 to 25 mile per hour range. Now, I imagine with that low pressure system that is going to be approaching, these gusts are going to start increasing again as we head closer to Monday, and that is probably why we are looking at those frigid wind chill possibilities. Now, one last thing to look at, cloud cover. This may not come as a surprise to you, but cloudy. The entire period, pretty much. There were a couple times in here, like right here, we might get a little bit of a break here tomorrow evening. Going back even more, maybe we get a tiny bit of sun poking through the clouds early tomorrow afternoon for just a brief amount of time. But other than that, there's it's just clouds. Winter in Michigan. What's not to love? Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you tomorrow.